Well, number 7, kicking off the evening session against Pagett. And I believe, Michael Holt, it would be no exaggeration to say this is something of a grudge match.
Yes, I suppose, yes. They've had a few spats before. I think it's all good fun. They'll put back in love sooner or later. But, yeah, there'll be a bit of Mickey taking whoever wins or loses.
I know one thing, and it's not because of the situation in the table entirely, although that's a massive factor, of course. I know that Williams will be desperate to win.
Definitely. Yeah, he's a winner, so that's all he wants to do.
Cheers.
That's a decent shot. He might have found a good spot there. I don't know whether he can maybe swerve around and try and clip off the reds, but this could go wrong. Yep.
Foul.
Too much swerve on it.
Andrew Pagett 4. Yeah.
He's got to judge this really well because slightly too thin or thick. He's not going to get. He's got a chance of leaving a red on, so it's a good shot from Andrew there.
Mark. Yeah, Andrew. Yeah. Foul. Andrew Pagett 4.
Well, with the black completely surrounded, the pink out of the reckoning, it will take some shot here.
He's going to top it in, so he don't need as much power, but he's missed it anyway. I think he left too easy.
When Andrew Pagett, 11 years ago now, qualified for the World Championship for the first time, Mark Williams very unkindly described him as the worst player ever to play at the Crucible. It was quite funny, but obviously not for Pagett. And actually, on his debut there, he performed with reasonable distinction. He lost 10-7 to Jamie Cope, who at the time was a handful.
Without a doubt, Jamie was a really good player when he was playing. It's a shame that he had to retire or stop playing. But yeah, anybody that goes there and puts a good showing up the first time, yeah, it shows you that you can play a bit, because it can be pretty awful there when it's going wrong.
One.
I thought for the first frame and a half against Lee Hang, Andrew Pagett looked decent. Then Hang started to score superbly.
Yeah, dead right. He the first frame, we had a nice break, 60 odd I think, and he controlled the bite really well. So
6.
thought he looked like he was in good nick, but yeah, Lee played really well in the end. So I think you just have to put it down that Lee played better on the day. But I think that these tables, similar sort of player to Mark in that respect, that he's not a big power player, but he sort of like floats the white around. And with these tables being so quick, it might sort of help him feel more comfortable, but we'll see. Not perfect.
14. 50.
A little bit surprised he didn't go into him there. I thought there was a good angle to
20.
screw into them reds. He's got to get a good angle soon.
23.
There it is, it's on the blue, perfect there if he fancies it.
Well, the two reds came out of the
28.
pack, but they stopped right next to each other, rather annoyingly from Pagett's perspective.
Yeah, if the top one don't go, that's unlucky, that is, because he played it well. You know, he didn't need to smash them everywhere, but he's still got a red on. But sometimes in this position, you can be a bit upset that you're not perfect and not missing the red that you're on. So, got to try and just focus on this shot, which you'd expect to get. He should be on the black after.
Cheers.
One of his best wins was
29.
over Neil Robertson in the Antwerp Open in Belgium in 2012. The semi-finals there.
Yeah, it's easy to think the players that are down the rankings or not have the success, some, you know, can't play, or on the day can't play to an high level, but
36.
they can. They're just obviously not as consistent as the top players, but if you catch them on the right day, they can beat anyone.
And I think due to personal circumstance, he's relishing his return to the main tour, Andrew Pagett. Won the European Amateur Championship in Portugal in 2020. That earned him a card, but he didn't take it immediately because he
37.
had some health issues which demanded a quite serious operation. Needed time to recover from that, so thankfully the snooker authorities granted him a one-year deferral. So he played his first year back last season, and now this is the second season of that card.
44.
Yeah, I think sometimes when a player's lost his card, and you know, maybe a life event like that can, you know, give him a better sort of mindset and view on just playing snooker at the end of the day, and that you just enjoy it more.
45.
He seems like he's enjoying it anyway.
And what Williams said in jest about him being the worst player ever to play at the Crucible is clearly not true.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's just a bit of bants between them.
Andrew Pagett, 45.
I'd be disappointed. I don't know what he played there. Maybe to cannon the pink first, but he missed it. But he's still got a bit weak to pink's safe, black's up there, so he's going to have to develop something. I think the red goes, but can't really do much with the white. Can he come backwards? He might screw it off. I don't know, he's just thinking about trying to move the black somehow, but going to say you might see Andrew try and put balls safe, but he's he's done his best to open them up there.
One.
Well, that was one of the shots of the day that surprises you most. One of the worst shots of the day.
Yeah, he'd definitely like to have that one back.
Six. Matt Williams, 6.
Now, obviously, Williams wanted to retain position there. But when he had the kiss, I'll tell you what, that dropped nicely for him. Because laying that snooker was obvious and simple.
Yeah, definitely, and it's hard to find a safe spot here. And with the pink being out as well, got a chance to get back into if he leaves him red on. In a bit of trouble here. I don't know what he's thinking about there, trying to get back into ball somehow. I don't know. Yeah, maybe off the side rail, off the black rail, and try and clip one on the way back. Go direct, so this is probably what he's trying here. He could go wrong if he hits one full ball.
Foul. Miss. Matt Williams, 4. Yeah. So let's have a look, Andrew.
While Rob Spencer is putting the cue ball back in its original position. Yes, they've practiced a lot together, these two, over the years, but this is their first ever professional meeting. But there's a little bit of spice out there.
Really? Yeah, that'll be... so whoever wins will be bragging about the 100% record. That's the danger of that shot. But he was in a bit of trouble there, so he had to try it. And they're even more open now, so a really good chance to get back into it.
It's like a derivation of the old boxing cliche, isn't it? Someone's O must go.
Yes, and I'm sure that the other one went near the last about it as well.
So good news, bad news here for
6.
Williams. The openness of the Reds helping with the counter-attack. The awkwardness of the black hindering. And that's why
7.
getting the pink into play, that really helps.
Yeah, he played a good shot on the blue to get low on that red so he can cannon the other red out of the way and get on the pink. Because he knew if he plotted the pink without doing that, he was tied up. So just another example of how clever a player he is. He won't be too happy with that, although he expect to get it. Not perfect now.
30. $40.
That's a good hit, that was. Nice and pure. Too well.
No one wants to make mistakes or misjudge, but that's one you don't really mind when you have the purity of the strike. That creates more action than you could have imagined.
60.
Another recovery needed here, though.
Yeah, he's not quite right on this. He's going to have to a good positional shot as well as not an easy pot. But yeah, I mean, when he didn't land right on the red, it's as much the psychology of it. You know, he can be a bit
17.
angry with himself for not being perfect and end up missing the red. But he's got such a good temperament. He just sort of takes his medicine and plays a good shot next.
$22. 23.
Needed angle on this red. I think he could have done with just
29.
a tad more. He does have something to work with, though.
30.
Yeah, had to be unambitious there.
Yeah, he played he could have played it off 2 rails, but he sort of just rolled it in and then got on a tougher pink. But he's got a good angle to get behind the red. There he is, look. He's on it now. He's a good shot with the one. He's not. He's left-handed.
36.
Don't need the rest, does he? Oh, he does.
This is the crux of the frame, you would believe.
$37. Thanks, Mark.
I say, but as a player with a lead, there's not many players that's scarier coming back at you than Mark Williams.
So he arrives on the colours with a 1-point deficit. That means he needs to
42.
clear to the pink. The awkwardness of the black doesn't matter, but the awkwardness of the brown most certainly does.
Wants to get that perfect angle on the green so he can just get right on the brown.
44.
Oh, not too bad.
$47.
You know the old Kenny Rogers song, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. I think this might be a case of folding and keeping it tight.
It is, yeah, but it's a funny one. He's not got an easy shot where he can put Andrew in trouble. So sometimes a player might elect to go for something a bit tougher, but if the snooker's on, obviously play it, but I don't think it's really on without. So yeah, he's having a look, because it's a sort of shot that if you miss it, if he hits the jaws of the pocket, he might not leave it anyway. No, he's not gone for it. But he'd have to think about it.
Mark Williams, 47.
Ultimately not a great clearance, but it was a great contribution. And now the frame's wide open.
He's put that black over that pocket, so I don't know whether it might get a bit of a stalemate here. We'll keep putting the balls. It's a really safe area now when they're playing safe on this shot. Look, they can just keep putting make sure that the brown's over there. They can't leave a pot, so sometimes this can end up in quite a long spell.
just because we're down to the last 4 colours, that doesn't mean to say we can't have a re-rack. At the Crucible one year, there was a re-rack with just blue, pink and black on the table.
Who was it?
I think it was Manjoy Davis. I will check at the end of this frame.
Sure, he'll have a crack at this. It's a good pot, that.
4.
But if you don't go for this, we're at that same position again where so many safe spots.
Level board, so both players need blue and pink.
Andrew Pagett, 4.
There are certain players who you don't want to be in this kind of situation opposing. Mark Williams, John Higgins, Mark Selby, Steve Davis. Said earlier, Williams wins a very high percentage of tied frames. He's tailor-made for this.
Yeah, definitely walks on the table like he's not interested, and then he sets a trap, and before you know it, he's potting game ball.
Mark Williams, 5.
Well, one of those situations where that 5 points doesn't make a great deal of difference.
Andrew?
Okay, Pagett now needs the black as well, but where it is, that's a formality.
Yeah, Mark? Yeah.
Williams still needs blue and pink. But this makes a difference.
Five. And the first frame.
A
Mark
lovely
Williams.
break of 47 to get back into the frame. And then Mark Williams does what he does best. Pinches it at the death with some excellent safety and forcing the mistake. Mark Williams, 2 frames away from returning to the top of the Group 5 table. He leads Andrew Pagett 1-0. With a victory here, he would get to 6 points out of 6 and then would need only a draw against Li Hang in the last match of the evening to top the table and reach the last 32. Now, we were talking about protracted re-racks. I was correct. It was the 8th frame of the 81 World Final between Steve Davis and Doug Mountjoy. Davis led 49-48 on the final blue. The black was on the edge of the pocket and the blue alongside. After 34 shots each. And no resolution to the stalemate. The frame was re-racked after 41 minutes play.
One.
By the way, that's courtesy of one of the great tomes in snooker, the Crucible Almanac, produced every year by Chris Downer. Chris does a wonderful job. Oh, and the pink did a wonderful job for Williams there.
Yeah, I'd be delighted with that. So now he's down the business end of the table. I think the black goes in the right corner, so
Five.
not a problem if he does pot it, it's not tied up. Got a few options here. Although the red near the left-hand corner probably causing more problems than it's helping him, so he'll probably try and get that away from the pocket as soon as he can.
10.
I think he can play on the black here, and then he's away.
11.
Now, for a player who prides himself on precision, that was just a wee bit out.
You're just mindful of wanting to get right on it so he can just drop on this red, but went a bit too far. Now he's
80.
ended up in him. The shot he'll expect to get, but it can go wrong this, but it could be alright.
90.
There you go.
$26. 27.
Since the advent of town chalk, which reduces kicks and also springy bounces off cushions, all players have benefited. Especially Williams, who absolutely hated those violent bounces. Now will he be hating that split, which
32.
first impression looked good.
Yeah, Mark likes to drop a lot of balls in, so kicks can sometimes really throw his shots off course. But I don't know whether he had the last match he looked when he got on down and like a red didn't go, and it did, and it might. I don't know, he's played the plant, so
Matt
yeah,
Williams,
disappointed there. He was
32.
unlucky. Had a good shot on the blue.
Yeah, he went through a spell when he was right at the top of the game. If he was playing at a table or on a table that was really difficult to judge off the cushions, you could see he became more and more frustrated. Those springy bounces still happen now, Michael, but they're not so common, are they? A rarity.
Yeah, definitely. The stuff, the chalk, the new chalk's brilliant. I can't understand anybody not using it, to be honest, but yeah, it really does help. And I think when you got to the stage like Mark did at one stage, you sort of it's as if because you're waiting for it to happen, they seem to happen more because he's sort of looking for it. But yeah, now with the new chalk, that's really helped him out.
Yeah, it's all right, yeah.
Yeah, when he was playing with bad conditions, even if he won a match, he would come off visibly annoyed. As I say, it's night and day now between how it was then and what we have these days. Those big bounces used to occur so often.
It's all right.
Yeah, if it got a bit sticky, that means the chalk used to stick to the cushions and the balls, and then that's when you'd get the bounces were like essentially just kicks off the cushion, and when some chalk got in between the contact point, you sometimes get a. I actually played Mark actually in at the Crucible, and we had a table that was just bouncing so bad to the point where it's just comical, really. You know, it's impossible for a ball to come off quicker. The law of physics tell you that, but sometimes it really did look like it had been, it was on a spring.
And you can't legislate for that. You can't adjust, because if you start playing shots in a smoother, quieter way with less pace, and the bounce is normal, then you're well short of where you should be.
Yeah, and then you start to get to a point where you have to use two cushions, so you're sort of waiting for a bounce, but then you play a shot differently, and it can just completely mess with your confidence, because you practice to try and go out there and just play on autopilot, really, and then all of a sudden you've got this new thing in the mix that's just messing with your mindset, and it can just makes you completely go at times, and obviously the pressure is not helping.
Yeah, we're not saying that big bounces are ever going to be completely eradicated, but they've certainly been drastically reduced. And that would have been a drastic pot had it gone in at that pace. That was asking an awful lot.
Yeah, it was a tough pot to take. He played it with a little bit of safety, screwing back, thinking he'd only leave the red that he was going for.
He did not hit that one well. Overcut it by some distance. But again, played it into a zone where the only red he could have left was the one he went for.
Yeah, always clever, always thinking. Surprised he missed that, though.
Let me quickly tell you on table 2, things going nicely for Gary Wilson. He took the first frame from Barry Plinches with a break of 60, and he leads by 42 points early in the second frame.
I think he can go for this red and put the white in the same spot. Not leaving anything unless the red comes down. He can clip that in, but tough clip that is. Mark Williams type shot though, and no, he's not going for it.
Yeah, I think had he had any kind of semblance of cue ball control, he would have given that a look at least. It was so thin, he was not in charge of the white at all.
And he's got that lead as well, so you don't want to give an easy chance to Andrew. Got to be careful, it's easy to knock one over the middle. Did that really well. Although he has left that red, so tough pot, but if he gets it, he's got a fantastic chance.
One.
Every credit. Oh, and if the cue ball has just been masked by the brown, that's unlucky. Okay, the green is an alternative. What a good pot.
Yeah, brilliant pot. This is not an absolute gimme, but knocks that in. Yep. So now he has got a good chance. I don't know if it's my OCD, but I'll be playing for the pink as soon as I can.
4. Five.
I think he's looking at the pink there because he wants to play it, but he doesn't have to. He's got a load of options. Sometimes in positions like this, you've got so many options. You don't end up picking one and end up missing something easy. There you go. He's
Andrew Pagett 5.
You can see from Pagett's reaction, this match means a lot to him. Not just in terms of ranking points or cash.
1.
He wants to beat Williams. And he can't complain about a lack of chances so far.
no, especially that one. He'd be disappointed not to make more from that. Now you can't really see Mark making a mess of this, but you never know.
Eight.
Like I said
9.
before, with these positions, usually just play for the first red you think of. You start trying to be too safe. I know it sounds silly with these positions like this, but easy to sort of overthink it. Not something Mark Williams does a lot, to be honest, but it can happen.
40. 50. 22. 23.
This surely unmissable blue, then one more red.
28. 29.
Well, two distinct frames so far. One, Williams was taken all the way to the pink in this one. The scoreboard, at least, shows you it's one-sided.
34. 35. 40. 41. 42.
There's a beauty to the flowing cue action and the way he goes about his business.
47.
He's aesthetically pleasing as a player.
48.
There's nothing for style points in the game. He just gets plenty of ordinary points.
Yeah, he's just a master at the game. Absolute master.
55.
His little pre-shot routine, look.
57.
Got good tempo to his action. It's always very similar. That creates a consistency you look for as a player.
60. 64.
Well, I must say, I would love to see him win this tournament, or at least one in the early season, because we want to see him at the Champion of Champions. He would
69.
be a big absentee if he wasn't there.
Definitely.
$75 and the frame. Right,
Doesn't bother with the black. Mark Williams looked good there. Andrew Pagett missed the blue. Williams did the rest, and so he's one frame away from getting a maximum 6 points out of 6 in this Group 5 of the BetVictor Championship League. In the Battle of Wales, Mark Williams leads Andrew Pagett 2-0. First frame on the pink, second frame with a break of 75, if you're just joining us. But this is no time to take your foot off the pedal. Williams wants all 3 points. If this were to be a draw, he would join Li Hang on 4 points, join top of the table. And then if their match was a draw and Williams didn't make a century, Li Hang would be table topper, but the way he's playing, that's all a moot point. Another one just stroked in.
Don't got a contact there. The referee's cleaning the black. Ironically, I'm always talking about not getting any bad kicks. Might work out in his favour though, because if he pots this, he might develop a few. Yep,
9.
there you go.
Yeah, kicks are like bounces, aren't they? They'll always crop up occasionally, but it's just their regularity, or lack of these days.
Yeah, definitely before, like I would say, that if you had the right conditions, well, wrong conditions, it's as if it's every 2 or 3 shots, but not anymore.
$16.
Happy with that.
Yeah, do not punch your table, Michael.
I was just going to say, you don't want to do that. Very real experience of
Foul.
missed the black as well.
And a miss.
So from absolutely
Mike Williams,
perfect,
16. Andrew Pagett, 7.
left a free ball and broke his hand.
Just let me check it, Andrew.
It's been a while since you really did, Michael, all those years ago.
Yeah, it was an decider against Rob Milkins in Towers Snooker Club in Mansfield. It was at the Masters qualifiers. Yeah, I played a bad shot. I mean, it really was a bad shot. Punched the table and broke my hand.
No, it's not. It's not a
Last
free
time
ball.
I did it.
Did it hurt?
It's funny because I think it was Paul Collier, the referee, and he said, I'm gonna have to warn you for that. I says, well, you don't need to because I think I broke my hand. So yeah, it wasn't so much painful. I just felt it, and then when I felt it with my other hand, it didn't feel the right shape. Obviously, I'm a lot more mature person now. I'd never even dream of such a thing.
You drop your...
Yeah, just break the odd finger
no,
now.
it's okay. So yeah, it's okay.
Progress though, Phil.
Well, Pagett isn't progressing the right way in this match. In the first frame, I thought he was competitive, but he missed that one by the proverbial country mile.
It was similar in the first match or what I was commentating on. He looked great the first frame. He just seemed to sort of unravel a bit.
Yeah, that broken hand story, Michael. I could remember it was in the Masters qualifying, and I knew it was in your neck of the woods as well. I couldn't remember who it was against. So did you finish off the frame?
I did. I was in front as well in the decider, and I had to just try and play on, and obviously lost the frame. But then I had to go straight to A&E. So it was at Kingsmill Hospital on a Saturday night at 11:30. So obviously, yeah, it was a bit busy.
So did you tell a few porky pigs about how you'd done it, or did you fess up?
Yeah, obviously they asked you how you did it, and I'm there in my suit, so you know, I couldn't really say I was chopping down trees or something really masculine. Funny, when we got there, you're waiting to be seen, and there was somebody sitting in front of me with like a big bandage and blood coming out their head, and I thought, if they're having to wait, my wait might be quite a while.
Well, look on the bright side, it wasn't a round robin, so you didn't miss your next match.
Dino got in the Reader's Digest for the world's silliest sporting injury. That's fame, that is.
What?
Oh, that's unfair. What a great shot. And now he's got the touch to get him behind the black.
Mike Williams, what?
Well, he does have the touch, but there, just a tad clumsy.
I thought he might have left the red there, but he hasn't, so this can go wrong. You can put, he's looking to see when he hits the red, where the red might go, because it's easy to knock one over the pocket. You'll be careful. Played that well.
Now that is wholly uncharacteristic. The only red he could leave. And from Williams' point of view, that was sloppy.
Yeah, he's played to hit the brown full ball and
What?
just missed it. Give him a good chance now, so he's perfect. So, see what he does here. He doesn't have to do anything, move anything. Keep getting on the next one.
Yeah, that will annoy Williams.
8. Nine.
Just having a look there, see if there's any plants for them. No, he's might be considering a flicking off that red, but I don't think so.
Can tell you that on table 2, Group 28, the top seed in that group, Gary Wilson, has just taken a 2-0 lead over Barry Pinches. Oh, Andrew,
Pagett 60.
that is unforgivable.
Yes, that was a great chance for him. Nope, no.
One.
Good shot. You might see him really focused now. Try and get this match won because Andy's had a few chances.
Six. Seven.
It's a good shot with the rest. It's easy to get a bit
40.
frustrated if you're trying to get it won. And he obviously is. He's hit the table earlier, so
50.
he wants to, like I say, get it won.
20.
The ultimate goal in this tournament is to capture his 25th world ranking title. Last summer's British Open was his most recent. And that came 25 years after his first at the Welsh Open in 1996.
26.
Yeah, amazing achievement for, well, the three we always talk about, for them to be, they're all in the top 8, aren't they? Just, yeah, incredible.
27. Cheers, Mark.
Well, positionally there,
32.
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, he waved at the ball, so I don't know whether he thought he had a bounce or... But I do feel these tables, you get a full bounce all the time. Sometimes it come across like it's sort of pinged a little bit. It is getting a bit sticky, a bit humid.
33.
It does bring it on a little bit there. That's landed awful.
Yes, we must reiterate that down by the table it is very warm. I was talking to a couple of the referees and a couple of the players involved this afternoon, and they were both saying the same thing. As you would expect with temperatures outside today in the UK, around the 30-degree C mark, which is, for those of you who work in Fahrenheit, in the mid-80s.
Trying to put...
Matt Williams, 33.
Well, he has done a little bit there. He's put them safe, tried to hit the black and keep them both on the cushion there, but... they're still safe, so he'll be happy with that.
And also the way that Pagett has played, the balls he's missed, the mistakes he's committed, doesn't exactly fill you with a great amount of confidence that he can mount a comeback.
No, he doesn't look good at all, does he? But with this form, I've seen it all the time. He gets an easy chance, then he just has a bit of an inspirational clearance, and all of a sudden it's game on. So Mark will know that. He'll try and keep it tight, not give him anything easy. It sounds obvious, but it's easy to sort of get carried away with the player. Be always missing. I'll get another chance, and then all of a sudden it changes.
We've used the word umpteen times today. I'll say it again. He's so clever, Williams. It's not just the execution of the shots, it's the visualization.
Yeah, he's that experienced and obviously got all that knowledge. The shots will just appear to him. You don't even have to think about it.
Matt Williams, 1.
Didn't need to be clever there. That was blindingly obvious.
That's true, but to be fair, what he's done there, I don't know whether he's thought about it, he's blocked off the right side of the table. So sometimes you can get the right snooker like there. If he'd have been able to get to the cross of the right side, it makes it easier hit. He's always thinking.
Foul and a miss. Matt Williams, 4.
Well, if that isn't called a miss, nothing ever would be. He was a street wide.
Yeah.
It was miles wide, wasn't it? Misjudged that. You see they're looking at the cushion.
Sorry, Andrew, can you just... because
Ideally, he wants to catch the right-hand side of the red going up to try and get it safe, I suppose, but...
Okay, yeah, Matt.
In a pickle here.
Cheers.
So Williams, 32 points to the good. He needs the penultimate red, plus any colour apart from the yellow.
1.
Green will do.
4.
And now, assuming this red goes in,
5. Thank
a
you.
draw against Lee Hang in the last match of the group will be enough for Williams to go through.
Matt Williams, 5.
Snooker's needed by Pagett. He's a million.
Yeah, it don't look good, does it?
What's also not encouraging for Pagett is that he remains out there after this for next match against Rory McLeod. And given the way he's played, he must be dispirited, Michael.
Yeah, obviously, if he loses this, he's out of it. So, got to try and basically play every frame as it, take it as it all comes, and you know, you never know, things might inspire that he gets up the group and not win it, but pretty good shot there.
Well, Pagett would need to beat Rory McLeod to claim third place in the group.
Nearly missed that. Nearly found a way behind it.
If you're just joining us, Mark Williams made a 75 break in the second frame, but for me, his best contribution was a 47, with the balls less than ideal in fighting back from well behind in the first. A first frame he eventually won on the pink. I think that sowed the seed.
Foul. Matt Williams.
And now
4.
enough
Craig
is
in the
enough.
match. Cheers, Matt.
The two Welshmen shake hands. Williams in a hurry to get out of there. He wants to prepare mentally for his last match of the day against Lee Hang, which will determine who wins Group 5. As for our next contest, it is McLeod against Pagett, and that might well determine who finishes third.